Welcome to episode 2 with myself and Pia. Very excited about this one. Over this past week, and why we've decided to talk about this particular topic is because of different patterns that have been coming up with different clients and different blockages and reasons why that possibly could be. And so this week's focus is about a morning routine and why that's important and setting your day up for success. And I've found it to be very game-changing for me. Even though it's meant that I've had to set my alarm 10 minutes earlier than I would normally to allow the space and the time to complete the things that I want to, it actually allows me to gain more time, more energy, more spaciousness in my day, and I actually achieve more. So the mind thinks you're losing something, taking away, I'll get less sleep. And then it's been really helpful to shift the perspective and actually look at it in a sense of what can I gain? What am I gaining here? And so I've been very incredibly consistent with the same routine for about 4 months now. Doesn't seem very long, but that has been very transformational. And how that looks for me at the moment is waking up and I immediately start with some breath work. So what that does for me is it actually grounds me into my body, into the present moment, gets me out of my head. And it's start of the day is really good because it's quiet, it's quite peaceful, and I haven't allowed myself to get into the head yet and think a lot. It's quite quiet. There's not much that's happened yet. So I have less noise in my mind. But I like to set intention. So, and it sounds incredibly cliche, but where focus goes, energy flows. And it's so true. So I'll ask myself multiple questions. What do I want to do today? And how do I want to feel today? And what steps do I need to take to get there? So it's taking aligned action essentially. And it doesn't have to be big, overwhelming things. It could be as simple as I am going to make myself breakfast and it's going to be whole foods. And then I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get some study done, for example. And when I set that intention, I don't want to let myself down. So it's actually building trust in myself by saying, and being in integrity with my word, showing up for me. This is about myself and how I show up for myself. Not only myself first, but so I have the energy and capacity to show up for other people and my clients and my friends and my family, my daughter. If I'm not creating the time and the space at the start of the day to give myself energy, how can I give to others? Because I'll be coming from an empty cup or a place of, not lack isn't the right word, but I want to be pouring from a full energetic cup. And what I've really noticed has been so powerful lately is setting the intention with how I want to feel and how I want others to feel in my presence when I'm doing my sessions with them, for one. Getting some study done because I'm working towards some different visions with my work. And I'll say to myself, and it's just small manageable chunks. So when we're at a lot of high capacity, at capacity within ourselves, it's hard. It can feel overwhelming to have a list of things to do. So it's choosing one thing that feels doable, small chunks. So for me at the moment, because I've got a lot on my plate, it's one module, which might take me an hour or something. Rather than going, I'm going to write a whole essay and do all this stuff. No, just one thing. And then if I find I have more capacity throughout the day, then I add. So, for example, the other day I got a module done. I said I'd clean my house. And then I had the energy, because I'd created that time in the morning for myself. I then mowed the lawns, which I didn't have on my list. So it actually, what I'm trying to show here is that it can create space, create more energy and more capacity because you've given it at the start of the day. When you set intention, you're taking strategic action to get towards the thing. Like, you cannot lose when you do that, I believe. And building that capacity for yourself over time gives you more discipline. And also when we are consistent with ourselves, we're giving ourselves self-trust. And I think that's the big one for me. Building trust and coming back to me and what I need, so therefore I can outflow it to others. And one last thing I'll say before Pia speaks is that I've had a few clients say, oh, but I want to sleep in. And then notice that I'm in a rush and I'm hurrying around. And then so I'm going into my day in a stressed state and I'm not grounded and I feel overwhelmed more. So you're taking that energy into the day, because they're thinking, if I just rush now, then I get my work done earlier, then I finish earlier. So at the end of the day, say 4 p.m, I have more space. But do you actually want to have your time in your space? I mean, maybe you do, but your energy at the end of the day when it's over? So I shift the perspective of, if you create the space at the start, you're more energized and you've got more life force to give for your day. Therefore, you're achieving more, you feel more accomplished at the end of the day. And then you're creating the space to rest again and regenerate for the next day. So that's just was a really interesting perspective shift for some clients to be like, oh, yeah, you're right, okay. And it has actually shifted their whole perspective on that.
Totally. And how you start your day sets the tone for the rest of your day. And I'm a mom, though, of 2 little kids. And I don't really have time, although you say that's an excuse. But
I have a child too.
I know. But not little baby sleeping in your bed.
Yeah.
Wanting you.
I have her sleeping in my bed.
Yeah. And, oh, yeah, sure. But the minute...
Just challenging you here, eh?
Yeah. But now, the thing is, the minute I wake up, I'm needed. And even if I put my alarm first, I'm needed. Sometimes I'm lucky and I wake up before them and that's all good. But I still focus on, where's my mind at in the morning? How am I feeling on the inside? And the kids want me and I'm still breastfeeding and they're on me. And my little daughter, she's just glued onto me in the morning. And before I started setting my mind up for success and choosing where my mind should be, and before I stopped allowing my mind being on autopilot in the morning, because then I think, oh my God, I'm running out of time, I got to do this to get ready. I'm like, nah. The minute my daughter comes, and she's needy and she's all over me, I'm like, stop. Dropping into gratitude. That's all I'm setting my mind up in the morning. That's my capacity that I have, but it's a game changer. So for example, I was like, oh, now I got to breastfeed and she's on me and this. Now I wake up in the morning, I take a few long deep breaths while she's breastfeeding, and I'm just dropping into gratitude. Like, I'm so grateful she's with me. I'm so grateful my other little one is coming, jumping all over me, wants mommy. Before I was stressed. I was like, oh, they want me, but I got to do things. Nah, I'm just not allowing my mind to stress me out. It's just a story that I'm creating. So I am just present and telling my mind where it should go. And when I'm in gratitude, I'm in flow, I'm in ease. And then, I had a grateful little few minutes with my kids, cuddling, breastfeeding. And then, lunchbox time. And I used to wake up in the morning being like, I got to do lunchboxes now, and what am I going to put in there again? But I was like, nah, this is why am I creating this story in my mind? Actually, I'm so lucky I have 2 healthy kids that I can make lunch boxes for. They get to go to a childcare that they love. Well, one of them, the other one's still at home. But I can open a fridge with so much food. I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful. I have the opportunity to nourish my kids, to take this 5 minutes, 10 minutes, how long it takes you, to put some love in there, some nourishment in there. So I basically, all the things I have to do in the mornings, I programmed them for gratitude and really to be in control of my mind. And then now I open the fridge, I'm like, wow, look at me, I have a full fridge and I'm so grateful I can have 2 healthy kids, and I make them a lunchbox, and it's my love pouring into them. And it just completely changed the way I start my days, from being stressed, like, ugh, kids and stuff, to being now like, I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful. And my daughter, for example, she's glued onto me in the morning. So when I make a lunchbox, she wants to be on me. So I was like stressed out, like, oh, I can't do it all at once. But she likes to just sit there and see what I'm doing. So now I'm like, oh, I got my little helper.
And she's learning too.
And she's learning. I'm with her. You know, I just changed the story of like, oh, she's on me, she wants me, I have to do a lunchbox, to look at me, how grateful. And now I trained my brain to be grateful. And without wanting to think about, oh, I'm so lucky or whatever, my brain automatically gives me thoughts of like, this won't last forever. Appreciate the time that you have. She's already 2, you know. When she's 5, she's not going to sit there with me anymore, wanting to help me, looking at me. She won't breastfeed anymore, hopefully. You never know. Nana. But, you know, all those little things. So it's like,
you shifted the perspective, right? And and if you think about coming into gratitude, you're actually bringing yourself into the present moment. So when you're in the present, it's like what you said, this isn't going to last forever. And I'm noticing that with my daughter. It's like, she'll be 13 this year, and she loves to cuddle me and come into my bed every night she would if she could. And I'm like, actually, this is so epic, because, you know, soon she'll be like, see ya, I'm leaving home. And it's already at the point where she's always off doing her own thing. And I'm like, can we hang out? You know? But coming into presence, because when you're in presence, it's like, there's endless possibilities in that space. We're not in fear, we're not in anxiousness, because you're not in those past or present tenses. But the other thing I'd say is how you've learnt to shift your perspective, which is amazing, because it's hard work to do that. And I know that from, you know, working with you and reshaping my reality and how I see the world intentionally. So thank you for helping me with that. But, you know, it's been, 6 months, and it's amazing and it's transformative, but it's hard. So it's not to say that, oh, we just wake up one day and it's easy just to go, you know.
No.
But also, if you're a really powerful tool I learnt was, you're going to find evidence of whatever you believe to be true. So if I wake up in the morning and I go, oh, I've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's so early and it's dark outside, and you know, whatever the story is, where now I go, I am so excited that I get to get up at 5 o'clock and I have time in the morning for myself and to do my practices that make me feel really good and really focused, and to take aligned action for my vision, for my day, for what I want to achieve. And then I'm like, cool, I get to go and train people, look at my, you know, but if I'm looking at my life from a lens of lack, like, oh, I've got to go to work and I've got to, like, whatever, I've got to go make money, I don't have enough of that, I don't have enough money, and I want a bigger house, or whatever the thing is, you know, we're quite often always in scarcity or lack, well, depending on your conditioning, but like, it's always, usually the brain goes towards that negative bias of what you don't have, or more focused on, what you want, which, yes, we're allowed to want and have desires and dreams, of course. But if we always focused on what we already don't have, it's not there. That's like a lack, right? It's like you're not in that gratitude mindset, which attracts more abundance, essentially, doesn't it? It's like you're going to get more of what you decide to put your focus and energy and attention onto. So my question for you would be, how do you help people to get out of, you know, to be able to have the awareness enough to go, to shift it, if you've been stuck in a habit of like only negative, because I've been there, where it's like negative thought cycles, like lack or scarcity. So is there one quick tip you could give people to help them just snap out of that or into presence or what they do have?
I'll just stick to the lunchbox example because it really annoyed me. I knew I have to make lunchboxes for the next 6 years or I don't know how long.
Indy does her own now, so it's not long.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't want a little thing like that to annoy me. I wasn't like there. I was like, this is annoying, blah, blah, creating a story. So I was like, okay, what beliefs and emotions am I attaching to the thing that I have to do? So I really had a look, what am I attaching to that? And then I said, I want to reprogram that. So I chose to create a new story of saying, actually, I'm so grateful. I have 2 healthy kids. I get to make them a lunchbox. I have a lunchbox. I have a full fridge. And I choose to put really nourishing food in there, you know. So then it didn't switch overnight because it doesn't. Anything that's unfamiliar for your mind is categorized as unsafe, and your mind doesn't like to do that. So changing, it's actually not hard. It's unfamiliar,
so
and your subconscious mind says this uncomfortable, that's unsafe for 10 days.
Yeah.
After 10 days, your mind says, this is familiar now. I want this thought pattern now. So it's about the first 10 days where you have to really program a new story into the thing that you want to do or change the thing.
It. Be aware of it.
And catch it for 10 days. After 10 days, it's familiar. It's a program. It's an automated program. For example, my daughter had an accident. She lost the fingertip really bad. All good now. But 10 days, I had to tell her when we went into the swimming pool, lift up your arm, lift up your arm. Now she's totally fine.
And does it still?
5 weeks in, she goes swimming like that now. And now I have to train her. Put your arm down. It's all good.
I love that
Put your arm down.
Yeah.
But that's just an example.
Yeah.
Or it's the same with foods in kids. Let's say they don't like olives. In 10 days, you give them an olive. You give them an olive. You give them an olive. They say, nah, rejection, rejection, rejection. On the 11th day, you don't give them the olive. They will ask you for the olive.
Really?
Because it's familiar.
I'm going to test that with Lindy.
Yeah.
That's great.
The older you are, the longer you need.
Yeah.
So kids,
And
the
more
younger
receptive.
they are, they're receptive. It's faster. For us, it takes at least 21 days to reprogram our stubborn brain that thinks it knows.
I have a
and
very
the story,
stubborn one too.
Yeah, the stories that we tell ourselves are true, and like, oh, I can't change my brain to be grateful in the mornings. I thought I will never be happy to make a lunchbox. Now I love it. It's my love. It's my gratitude. You know?
I love talking to each day. She's like, I love it.
I love it.
And it is. It's just like, yeah. And I do find, you know, when people say, be grateful, what are you grateful for? And I say it all the time to my clients, and I say, what do you want to celebrate about yourselves? And I get like a lot of laughter a lot of the time. Like they laugh at me because they're like, oh, here we go. You know, it's almost a bit cliche, but it truly is transformative because it's actually the energy of the emotion. It's actually high vibrational. So if you get in that, if you truly feel grateful, you're not thinking you're grateful, you're actually feeling it. How that is so like transformational and expansive and heart opening, and it's just like oh my gosh, it's just I couldn't, when I get in those states, and I find as many times as I can throughout my day to find myself doing things that give me these feelings more regularly. So, you know, even this morning it was, I asked my clients, how do you want to feel today? So maybe it's empowered, powerful, whatever the thing is. So we go, okay, you're in the right place because we're going to lift some kettlebells right now and we're going to make ourselves feel strong and powerful. And by the end, they're like, yeah, we love that. Felt so good. You know, and you're in that, you're choosing to do the things that give you the feeling. You're taking action again. It is a choice to take action. And then you're getting those feelings. So it is ultimately tying it back to both of us. And it really is a choice first. And it's just, you know, to be consistent or to have motivation. You do not wake up motivated just one day randomly if you've not been doing something for ages. You know, if it's something that's already habitual, you've done your whole life, yes, like you do your thing. But if it's something new, so like, for example, if it's a client coming to me and they're going to the gym for the first time in 3 years or coming to a class, the big battle for a lot of them is consistency. But I've always said, look, we don't just wake up motivated one day for something new. It doesn't work like that usually. Some people, yes, but most no. So it actually takes a choice because you want to make a change because maybe you've just sick of your own shit, and then it's the catalyst, right? You make a change. But then it's the choice to take the action. Then the action breeds the motivation. That's the byproduct. So it's choosing for the 21 days, for adults, 21 days, right? Every day I show up. Even on the days that my mind goes, nah, because your mind's going to battle you and say, absolutely not. Not safe.
Today.
Nah, too tired.
Can't do
Didn't
it.
sleep good last night. Oh, nah. It's all good. We'll just leave one day. Then once you've left the one day, then it's 2, then it's 3, then it's 4. So if you make that commitment to you, but powerful tools to come back to your why and your intention, how you want to feel. Feeling is the key. Because we've spoken a lot about your mind and your body doesn't know the difference between whether things have happened or not yet. So if you're actually just choosing to be in the feeling and like, yes, you know, you're just calling more of that in. And so this is, again, what it's about. It's about how do you want to feel? What do you want for your life? What do you truly want? And removing those blockages, subconscious things that block us from that, which is multi-layered for different people. Mm-hmm. But that's what we're here to talk about and educate and know that there is help and we're here to help.
Exactly. And if you don't start using your mind as a tool, it will use you.
It'll be your slave and you'll be the servant.
Exactly. So don't allow your mind to run on autopilot. Take over control and you tell your mind, take your power back and you tell your subconscious mind how you want to feel. And you'll see, you just practice a bit, but with a repetition, it just becomes automated patterns, you know? So just be aware which patterns you want to change and repeat, do the same thing again. It will go into the subconscious mind and you got your power back and you tell your body how you want to feel. You tell your subconscious mind what you want to do. And self-limiting beliefs, it's just an illusion. It's just not the truth.
We tell ourselves we don't like that. We're not having that story anymore. That's not our story anymore. See ya. I've got to tell myself that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky I've got Pia next door to remind me and whip me and shake.
We remind each other. You remind me as well.
No, I know.
We're like, oh, are you telling yourself a story? Is that an excuse or is it self-love?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in saying all this, we're not saying it's easy. Don't get us wrong. I think a big thing of this is, I feel I'm going to celebrate myself and you that we've got to a point where I do feel like I have my power back, and but I've put in a lot of work to get my power back, which in the scheme of things has been years, and it's still an ongoing process. Nothing's perfect, but it's just to show like, oh yeah, we weren't always like this, you know. It's making that choice to choose ourselves, really.
And we're always growing, we're always expanding,
evolving,
you know.
Yeah.
And I hope and I know from now in a year we will look back and see, look how limited I was back then, and look how much freer I feel now, or how much more in control we are now. But we are just at this state where we know we are the creator of our life. We can change whatever we need to change. And
we have the power to change our reality.
We're not in a victim role anymore.
No.
We're definitely in the creator role, saying, this is what I want, this is what I not want. Some things are easier, some things are harder, but we know we can create and achieve whatever we want.
You're also giving away I used to be in victim mindset so much. I remember when I was going through my health stuff, I was like, oh my God, always talking about it, complaining about it. Not realizing at a conscious level that I was actually giving my power away from myself, but also giving it to others, because subconsciously I wanted people to validate me, like what I was going through. So I'm trying to steal their power without knowing, going, oh no, mate, tell me that it's going to be okay and that I'm okay and it's fine. And, you know, but actually all I'm doing is like outsourcing, where a big part of this is taking your power back and coming back to here, to you, always. Because you've got to have your own back, I think.
And just to make the loop, it works amazingly to get your power back by setting your attention in the morning, by starting your mornings right.
Yeah.
Because how you start the day is setting the tone for the whole day.
Yeah.